Well,
we're already ready to go.
You're in charge here, so
Yeah.
Damn right I am.
don't mess up though.
It's almost like talking before, though, kind of like lubes up the old talking muscle.
Lubes it up.
Yeah, right? Yeah, man. So,
I'm so glad we're recording.
yeah,
Guys, you
Never
got to
done
talk before the podcast so you can lube up the talking muscles.
yeah, man. It's like when you just work out in general.
Yeah.
You got to warm up first.
Exactly.
You know?
Well,
That's pretty important.
welcome to Only the Greatest Podcast. This is episode number 40-something. I think 43, where Phil and I just talk about random stuff. Shawn does all the hard work, and everybody lubes up their talking muscles beforehand.
There you go.
This is how we bring it in.
And I do all the sound effects. I'm going to let this play through.
Yeah. How long is it?
I don't know.
I think it's like a minute to change.
Oh, well,
Okay.
Like I said, Daryl's in charge.
Yeah, I mean, it's your world. We're just living in it.
Yeah, just over here looping up, you know?
Yeah, just over here moving up.
All right.
Well, Phil, how was your day though? Like, how was your whole trek over here?
It was rough, man. I'm not
Yeah.
going to lie. Been pretty booked up since early this morning. And then hit some gnarly traffic on the way over to my uncle's house.
Gnarly with a G.
Mm-hmm.
I like gnarly.
Gnarly?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I was against gnarly for a little bit though.
The word?
Yeah, like my friends were saying gnarly a lot, and I was not down with
Gnarly,
gnarly
bro.
at all.
I really can't remember the last time I used that verb, why did I
Gnarly.
say verb, that vocabulary, but
Yeah.
it just kind of came to a head when I was thinking about how bad the traffic was.
Last time I used gnarly, I was describing that run we went on last weekend.
It must
That was
have
pretty
been, it must have
gnarly.
been rough. Yeah.
It was
must have been
gnarly.
pretty bad.
It was beyond rough, let me tell you. I
well,
didn't
we
think I
got
was
it
going
done.
to make it
8 miles? 7 or 8 miles?
8.
8
And
miles.
I felt like trash the whole time.
Doesn't matter. We got it
But
done.
we made it.
Doesn't matter. We got it done. Well,
That actually gives me confidence because if you feel terrible but you still finish, think about when you feel good.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're going to dominate.
Yeah.
It's all about perception, you know?
OTG podcast listeners, we got a very important, very special guest on the show today. My boy Shawn, Shawn Archibald.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He is now part of the OTG team. He's
Thank
doing
you.
all of our content. And this is really just a show to introduce him, get his name out there, talk about who he is, what he does, and just welcome him, man. Because I feel like everybody who's close to us or part of the team, eventually, not immediately, but eventually we bring him in here and we just kind of interview him. We talk to him on the show, kind of just, introduce them and welcome them, bring them in, let people know about them, who they are, who's working behind the scenes. Cause all this videos and the sound y'all see, I don't even know how to do that.
You just said you were in charge of sound effects.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what about a clap? Like
Hold on,
a clap.
Oh, I am in charge of.
Oh shit. Oh no. Dude,
We need somebody else in charge here. Shawn,
No.
new job
Hey,
description.
there's a Sharpie right there. We can write down what they are
Oh yeah.
after.
I think
we're
we
gonna
talked
do it.
about this last time.
But the fans in here know that I'm good at sound and I'm in charge of it. See there? Y'all see them clapping for
He
me?
didn't get
There you go.
he didn't get lubed up.
I didn't
Yeah.
lube.
Dude, actually, we were talking for a good while before this. Actually,
Dude, we
were
talked
just-
for like probably 40 minutes, bro,
Oh,
about
geez, sorry, I was
everything.
late.
Man.
Yeah, well, you missed
Yeah,
it, bro. We were lubing up in here.
We were lubed up.
Damn it.
Well, Shawn,
Lubed up off camera.
Shawn, we've known you for a number of years, man.
Yeah, it's been a little bit.
Tech City guy, original like us. High school, even probably earlier than that.
Yeah.
At least high school.
Yeah, I think somewhere around there is when we all like kind of crossed paths.
Yeah.
Like the end of me in high school, and I
Right.
think y'all were probably fresh out or on the way out of high school.
Yeah. We were probably all in high school at the same time at one point or another. But we kind of knew each other back then. weren't best friends, weren't enemies, anything like that. Just kind of all part of
The same friend group.
yeah, same friend group. You
Yeah.
had friends, we had friends. But yeah, man, now you're fast forward 10, 12-ish years.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's crazy, right?
You have a brand.
Yeah.
Phil has a brand. Y'all each own a brand. And now they have come together.
Yeah.
They're working together with and for each other.
Yeah.
And so you're part of the OTG team. And we're just going to bring you on and get you to talk a little bit about yourself, man. So
Yeah.
tell us who you are, where you're from, what you do now, and what the plan is moving forward. Because everybody's like, man, I don't really know how to talk about myself. I know how to talk.
Man, yeah, I can talk a little bit. Hello, everyone. What's up? My name is Shawn Archibald of Wzdm Media. And
Instagram handle.
Instagram handle is going to be Shawn.Wzdm, WZDM. And
SHAWN.
Yeah,
None of that weird EAN
yeah,
stuff. Scene. It says Scene. It doesn't say Shawn. It says Scene. Your name is Scene.
Yeah, yeah, that's how I always read it.
Shawn,
like, yeah,
SHAWN is the only way. You could argue for a U, like SHAUN.
You know, I think Japanese people spell it with an X of somehow. Like it's like
Really?
XAON or something like kind of strange.
That
like
sounds
that.
like
That's correct. I know a lady named Sharon.
Yeah,
and it's
there
with
we
an
go.
X.
Yeah, yeah.
starts with an X.
Yeah.
That's Zerone to me. I don't know.
Not to
Does
them.
X really make a sound?
X's are cool.
Yeah,
X-
the
it's
X's
just
are
cool.
I think if your signature had an X in it, how cool your signature could
Yeah, you can just
I might even put one in there. Just throw it in, like, I don't know, Daryl and
X Daryl.
X Daryl.
DR Laird.
DRX Laird.
DRX.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Sorry, Shawn.
No, you're good, man. So yeah, just SHAWN.WZDM. That is the Instagram handle. Yeah, I have been taking pictures for about 10 years, I want to say. Recently, within the last, I'd say 3 to 4 years, I started doing more video.
Yeah.
I started with doing video for my friend's Instagram, or for his YouTube channel, Just Inspire. It was more like like motivational speaking, stuff like that. And then eventually I ended up taking more pictures for, it started off taking pictures of cars with my phone, really, is what I started taking pictures of. And,
That's kind of what got you into
Photography in general.
yeah, just photography in general. Yeah.
iPhone, good old iPhone.
Yeah, it was like some shitty Android phone, really. It was
okay.
Yeah, it was a My Touch 3G. If anyone remembers
You had
what
a
that
green
phone
text?
was.
If you had green text.
I still have green text, so, sadly. So,
Shawn still has green
hey,
text.
I always tell people if they don't want me to have green text anymore, because I've had this conversation with my other iPhone owning friends, and yeah, well, you got blue text, you got green text. I'm like, buy me one. Buy me one and I'll use it. It's like, I don't want an iPhone yet. No, I don't want one quite yet. Not quite yet.
Okay.
I want it to have USB-C. That's
See
it.
this flag behind me? That means you can pick whatever phone you
It means
want.
you're in America and you can make
Pick
your own
whatever
decisions.
phone
Damn right.
want,
You can have a
dude.
flip phone. There's a guy at work that has a flip phone.
Dude,
Great.
they're bringing them back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
there's flip
yeah.
touch phones.
You can properly hang up in somebody's face that way. You know what? F you. Whack. And you snap it shut.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's proper.
And they know.
They know you slapped your phone shut. It's the only way to do it.
So yeah, I started off taking pictures on phones, and people liked the pictures I would edit.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cars.
So you would take it on your phone and would you edit it like on a laptop? Or?
No, it was on the phone too.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
so it'd be there would be pictures that were just horribly edited, way too much saturation, way too much contrast. If you do a real big flick to the beginning of my Instagram, there's pictures there that need to be deleted probably. But
it tells a story.
Yeah, it tells a story. Everybody's got somewhere.
Yeah, so it kind of started off there, just taking pictures at car meets where we all just started driving. So that was like our thing. Everyone had their own car, and it was really cool, real fun times. A lot of people liked the pictures. So eventually, a friend of mine had a camera, a Rebel T1i Canon.
Wow.
Yeah, he had one go up for sale, and I told my mom that Christmas. I was like, yeah, that's the one I want. I want a camera. And he took a picture of a cigarette box with like the flash on, but you could see that like separation. And there was like a little bit of the like the blurriness in the background, and then the actual cigarette box was really clear. And I was just in love with it. And I was like, oh, dude, I want a camera that can do that. Like at this time, I'd been taking pictures on my phone for probably like a year or two. And I was like, man, I want something that can do that. So I got that camera, and then ever since then, just been taking pictures.
So you get your camera, get the old Canon.
Yeah, the old Canon.
And you start practicing, you start working with it.
Yeah.
And do you instantly start like I think I know the answer. Do you instantly start getting paid, or are you just basically doing it as a hobby at this time?
It's a hobby for a long time.
There you
That's
go.
something that I try to tell people.
This is what I wanted to dig into.
Yeah,
So
I wanted to tell people or I try to tell people that's just starting. Like though, I had a friend of mine hit me up recently. He's like, "Hey, what are your pricing?" He's like, "What's your, what's how much do you charge? And I was like, well, this is what I charge usually. And he's like, wow, that seems expensive. And I was like, man, that's cheap in comparison. And then also too, it's like, it took me a while to get confident here.
Right.
You know, it's, you got to do a lot of free work, man.
Yeah,
I think
for sure.
to really get your foot in the door, you got to do a lot of free work. You got to show up to places and just have a camera and just shoot.
Yeah.
So.
I think that there's a lot of people that, you know, there's a handful of professions, jobs that people just think that all you got to do is just buy the instrument and you're good. Like photography is one of those things that people think, oh, well, I'll just go buy a camera and I can shoot a wedding for $15,000. And it's like,
yeah.
Are there people that make that? Probably.
Yeah.
But did they just buy their camera yesterday and start figuring out how to use it? No, they've probably been doing it for many, many years and have quite the portfolio.
Yeah.
You know, I am not a photography or an artist in any way. But the way I see it is like, okay, photography is definitely art. Especially when you're talking about editing photos that you take, right?
Yeah.
I don't know the first thing about it. Whatever Instagram provides.
Yeah.
I scroll through.
Yeah, just add the filter.
But like you wouldn't expect to be like nobody in the whole world. So think about it from an art perspective. Okay, I now have an easel and a canvas and a paintbrush. Now I'm an artist. Now you're gonna pay me. Now you're gonna pay me for. Now you're gonna pay. Oh, hold on.
I was just about to.
There we go. now
you're gonna get at it.
Yeah.
You're gonna get good at it.
Now I'm gonna write them down. Now you're gonna pay me for my work because now I have this canvas and this easel and this paintbrush.
Yeah.
It's not how it works.
Yeah,
You go buy a camera. Doesn't matter. Nobody cares that you have a camera. The capability is there, right? You have a fine instrument to use for your work, but you still have to know how to use it. You still have to know how to. Editing is completely different from the picture, right? The photo, the video, whatever it is.
Definitely, yeah. There's there's so much that goes in all of it. And I have friends that make a lot more money than I do that want to get a lot nicer cameras and have had like a lot nicer cameras than I do. But I'm like, hey man, let's go shoot. All right, let's go shoot. Let's go put some reps in pretty much. It's like, man, sometimes it's like you'll go and we'll just walk around for hours and just take pictures or whatever and just the more you shoot and the more you edit, the better you get. Yeah. It's just like you guys were talking about running earlier. It's just like going running. God. I couldn't imagine going and running 8 miles tonight, but it's like I think I could in like a month if I trained at it. For sure. Yeah, it's like like shooting weddings is, dude, that's tough, man.
Photography
you're dealing with a bride, and if you mess her, and
it's really, and you don't even have to have like because I've luckily haven't shot a wedding that I had like a straight bridezilla. I've had pretty easy wedding clients. It's just the whole thing. It's a lot. Yeah. Especially if you're doing photo, video. You have a large amount of people. You want to make sure you're getting all those pictures. You don't want your client asking for anything after, other than, stuff that they don't have, but you can provide. It's like, oh, did you get a picture of this? Oh, yeah, I have that. Little minimal stuff rather than like, hey, where's the picture of like my ring with my grandma or something? It's like you want to make sure you're covering all those bases, and that can sometimes be, and on top of that, just getting there, being on time, and all the stuff on your end too. So it's a lot, and you don't learn that your first go around.
Right.
So man, just having like the camera, like you said, it doesn't make
That's not enough.
It does.
No way. I had a really nice camera for a long time.
Yeah.
And like I used to do all of our own videos and stuff. And when I did them, it was trash. But if you look at our stuff now, Shawn doesn't have any better equipment. It's the skill set.
Right. It's the skills. So you had a great camera. You had great equipment. Shawn just has the skill. Shawn
That's
has
right.
He's put the reps in. Think about me. I got a gym membership at OTG and at Steelworks, and I'm not in shape. Just because I got a gym membership doesn't mean I'm in shape, right?
Yeah.
Just because you got a badass camera doesn't mean you're a great photographer.
Right.
Yeah.
The capability is there. You can put the reps in and you can learn. So that's a cool story, Shawn. That's I wanted to touch on that. That's kind of why I started writing when you were talking a minute ago, because I wanted to cover that, or I guess bust that myth of like, oh, I got the camera.
Yeah.
Now I'm the guy. Now I'm the girl. Now I'm the photographer, right?
Yeah, it takes a lot to be the guy. And I'm not saying I'm always the guy every day. Right. It's like, dude, some days you don't wake up as the guy. Right. You get to a shoot and you're not that dude. And it just happens, you know? But
rents due every day.
Yeah. Yeah, rents due every day. Yeah, exactly. Something I think it makes me think about Sugar Ray Leonard, the boxer from like the 80s. It's like, he's like, some days I was just Leonard, you know, just a regular dude, and some days I was Sugar Ray, man. And he's like, some days I was, you know, some days I feel like I'm Wzdm, and then some days it's like, nah.
Yeah, for sure. So that's about, what'd you say, about 10 years ago? You kind of started, you started with the phone, then you got the camera, and did you, was it just word of mouth marketing type of getting the word out?
A lot of that, really.
Little Instagram, a little bit of free stuff.
Exactly. Instagram really started popping off around that time. I didn't go to school for it, obviously.
Right.
I wanted to. A lot of it really kicked off as like I was taking pictures and I liked them, and so I was like, man, there's not a lot in high school that I really like connected to. I didn't play any sports. I didn't do any like really extracurriculars, and really stuck on that. I was just too. I thought I was too smart. I was too funny. I was like, I'm just I was like the class clown. So I was like, I want to kind of do whatever I want. And so the first thing I really hung on to was photography. I was like, man, this is actually really fun. I get to go and do things with this just on that level. And I was like, man, I'm able to go and see cars, and people are giving me access to check these things out that I'd never seen before, with just a little bit of exposure that I had at the time. And I had a counselor at our school tell me that, he shouldn't become a man. Because my mom was like ride or die the whole time. Like she got me the first camera.
That's what moms do.
Bro, she came
Mom's got your
through,
back.
man. And so she was talking to the counselor around probably the last couple of weeks or whatever of senior year.
Like your senior year.
Yeah. And she was just like, he wants to be a photographer. At that time, I'd been shooting for like a year. I'd had my first camera. I was taking pictures of cigarettes and stuff like that. So I was like, hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
Cigarettes and Honda Civics, right?
Yeah. Two very popular things.
There you go. But I was just like, hell yeah, man, this is cool. And the counselor kind of poo-pooed the idea. She was like, why didn't he go and work at the plants? Is something that is something that she told me. Yeah. And I was just like, man. And so ever since then, it's almost been like this little chip on my shoulder.
Thanks for motivation.
I'm like, I don't even remember the counselor's name. It's almost on like some Michael Jordan shit where he's like, someone was saying something about my mom, so I went and like put my nuts in his face or something. It's like, I don't even remember her name. I don't even remember who she was. I'm just like, dude, there was a counselor that said I couldn't do it, and it's like, I can do it.
Yeah.
I can do it. Yeah.
For sure.
So,
I remember, I can relate to that. I can remember a teacher saying that, I can't remember the exact scenario, but basically recommended that the next year that I didn't try to take whatever the advanced version of the class was, because, I didn't do so hot the year before. And I'm thinking, well, I wasn't really trying, and I remember this teacher's name and face, and I'm not going to call this teacher out, but we had like a little meeting. It was my mom, and then it was the teacher for the advanced math class the next year. And it was like, should you sign up for the advanced class or not, the collegiate version or whatever?
Yeah.
And this teacher was like, you don't got it. You can't do it. And I was like, all right. I was like top 3% the next year in that class.
Exactly. Yeah.
F you, bro.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Because so it kind of lights a fire under you. It kind of motivates you. But I'm glad that you brought that up, and it's really weird. I was installing blinds at one of my rental properties yesterday at my Airbnb, and the tenant was there. I have like a medium term tenant staying there. Super cool guy. It's a group, but one in particular is that I've talked to more, and he's 21. He's down here. He's interning. And we just kind of started talking about, he's asking me about the house and is real estate what I do and so forth, because, he's renting from me and he's from like another state.
Yeah.
And we kind of
did you tell him like shit? Sorry, like were you writing a book or something? Like why are you in my business? Like what are you doing?
I think I'm installing blinds at the house he's renting, and so he's kind of like just chilling, and I'm doing all this stuff. And I should have.
Yeah, grab me a damn hammer over here. Ask me all this.
Hey, hand me that screwdriver, son. But hold the light.
Yeah, hold the light.
But no, he's asking me about it, and super sharp kid. I say kid, 21. Super sharp guy, very inquisitive. You can tell that he really just genuinely wants to know. He's got questions. And, he said something along the lines, I'm going to paraphrase him a little bit, but something along the lines of, oh, well, I've always heard that, getting into real estate's, it's not the way to go because of XYZ thing. And I was like, okay, this is an opportunity to like coach up somebody of like a younger group of people, or a younger, I guess you could say group, class, whatever. I'm 31, he's 21.
A younger ilk.
Yeah. And I was like, I turned around, I was like, how many of those people that that have told you that own any real estate? And I could see him kind of looked around, and he's like, none. And I'm like,
it's like a bad game of telephone. Everyone just tells each other.
I'm like, there you go. I was like, we have a problem there's a few problems in this situation. Number one is people want to, social media has given everybody the platform to speak on things that they have no idea about, right? And some people do it, some people don't.
Yeah.
But they think that they know just because they follow somebody who does it or did it or said they did it, right? Mm-hmm. That is a problem. But I think more importantly than that, and what a lot of people would miss here is that the individuals that told him, because he was very much into the idea of doing real estate, these people that are telling him not to do it they don't believe in themselves. They don't believe that they can do it. So they turn around and they project that onto this 21-year-old kid, and they tell him, don't do it. It's rough. You can't do it. And you could tell that they had really kind of gotten to him a little bit. That he was really kind of like believing him a little bit. Yeah. And I was like,
and I don't know why people do that. Like, I don't know why.
Why would
a counselor do that? I don't know.
Because they're not living. In my opinion, the reason people would do that is all those people told him not to do it. At some point in their life, they probably wanted to.
They had a dream.
But like Daryl said, they didn't have the confidence in themselves to pursue it. So now they also don't
want somebody before them
that's right.
projected that onto them.
Yeah, and so now they don't want, especially someone younger than them, to be more successful or do something that
chase their dreams.
Yeah, exactly.
Which brings me to my next point. We have a society. It's a I guess it's a cultural. We have a cultural issue. It's perpetuated down through the generations, I think, especially the last, I would say 2-3 generations of people not believing in themselves or not really having, not really chasing their dreams, not really going for it because, it's too risky or whatever. And we live in this culture, this society now where, the risk takers, the true entrepreneurial people are, I think, like 7% of the population. The rest are, 9-to-5 type people or people that don't work or whatever. And I'm not saying everybody should be an entrepreneur or is an entrepreneur, but I'm saying that just because you don't believe in yourself, you shouldn't project that onto somebody else. And you should ask questions. Have you ever done that counselor? Have you ever done photography? Have you ever tried to do photography?
Yeah, it's super strange.
And you're a kid, right? You don't know this.
Yeah, but it was always like really weird to me just because I was like, it's not like I was trying to like sell something that never existed. It's
right,
this wasn't a long time ago. This wasn't it wasn't like I was the third person out here with a camera.
You
know what?
This was the third camera ever invented.
Exactly. I'm gonna take pictures for Sports Illustrated.
Right,
I didn't I was like, there's National Geographic out there. There's businesses like Apple has creative teams that sends people all around the world to take pictures. So I was like, I think making a living behind a camera isn't anything like magical.
It's
And
not,
so
out-
I was,
it's not a far-fetched idea that can't be achieved, right?
Yeah, I think someone out of Texas City, Galveston, Houston area, there's a lot of people out of these areas that make it out of make it out of it from photography or some type of video work. So I was just like, I felt like that was
content creation of some type.
Yeah, I felt, and then now more so than ever, they're like every what companies aren't trying to get online,
Listen,
so it's just like.
Listen, if your stuff's good in the age of social media, you're gonna succeed. People, it doesn't matter. Used to, you had to have you had to have the news, the TV, the newspaper, or the radio on your side, right, to advertise, to be good, right? If those people
gotta
didn't
rent
have
out
your
a spot in like the green sheet or something.
Yeah, in the age of social media, your content gets out there, and it's good. People are gonna buy it. People are gonna latch onto it. If your brand's good, if your work's good, the proof's in the pudding, man.
Yeah.
But and I think that we have there's an issue of, and I call it breaking the chain. There's an issue of people not breaking the chain. The idea that I'm about to talk about came from, I think it was Ed Milet, but basically, there's a cultural problem of parents and grandparents not chasing their dreams, not going for their goals, and the kids just see them, and they're hardworking people, they're great people, hearts of gold, and maybe
it's like they have a block or something,
right? Maybe they don't want to pursue something different, and they just want to work 9 to 5 until they're 65, and that's it. Whatever your thing is, this flag behind me, do whatever you want, right? But there's an issue of people, especially like this counselor, maybe was one of them. She never chased her dreams, and so since you weren't going for a conventional career path, like I'm going to go to school to be an engineer, I'm going to go to school to be an operator, I'm going to go to school to be a lawyer, a doctor, whatever, a nurse. Whatever your thing is, all great things. Society needs all those things, but that's not what you picked. That's not what you wanted. And since you weren't going over after something typical or conventional, she kind of shit on it, right? Like, oh, well, you don't do that. You can't make it that way.
Yeah, why not? Why not go to the refineries?
Right. So they project that onto you. They're not going for their dreams. The kids see the parents and the grandparents not going for their dreams, and you get stuck in this rut. Be the one to break the chain. Yeah, I'll tell you right now,
it's systematic.
And my family on both sides, I'm the one that's breaking the chain. I'm the one that's gonna set the example. That's going to, and I'm not saying that like I'm gonna be Elon Musk. But I will break the cycle.
Daryl Unchained.
Daryl Unchained. Tune in for Daryl Unchained episode 4, season 3 next week. But no, like I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna do something unconventional, and at the very, very least, I'm gonna go for it. Yeah. And maybe I'll fail. Yeah. Maybe. Newsflash, I ain't, but I might. Right? Yeah, I know. Yeah. I am assuming that risk.
You treat them like they're on the same plane.
That I take every day,
succeeding and failing. It's
right? Yeah. I might succeed. I might fail. My worst nightmare is being, elderly, however old I live to be, and looking back and going, damn, I never went for it. Yeah. I never, ever went for it. I never chased my dream. And I knew it because I've known it since I was young, since I was probably a teenager, that I wanted something different. I wanted something more in life. And my version of success is different from others, right? But I knew what it looked like for me at a young age. And there's always been this thing in my mind, this yearning, this restlessness to do something about it. Mm-hmm. And my worst nightmare is to look back and be like, man, I never went for it. It would suck. I had the idea. I knew what I wanted to do, and I never went for it. And now I'm 75, and I, have a fake knee, and I don't get around well, and I worked until I was too tired to work anymore, and I missed my kids' baseball practice because I had to work overtime. Whatever it is, right? Like I just don't want to look back and see that I didn't chase my dreams or realize I didn't chase my dreams.
Is there anything from high school that you guys can think of that you wish that you would have pursued? Like mine is track. I wish.
Oh, you wish you would have ran track in school?
Well, I did for a little bit, and I had bad grades, so they like caught up with me. It's like I was like, oh yeah, I ran track for like a semester, and we did like a little bit of the training, and I was loving it, and I got faster, and I was like, dude, this is great. And then like second semester rolls around, it's like, yeah, you got to come in and do a remedial math class, and I was like, motherfucker. So, is there anything that like y'all can think back as far as like that could have sent y'all in like a totally different path in high school?
Phil, you want to take this? Do you want me to?
Because we're all around the same age. Like,
yeah, we're very close.
29.
For me,
31.
Yeah.
Not necessarily in high school. I do wish that, you know how Daryl was saying that he's always had this thing inside him that he wanted more or whatever? I didn't. Yeah. I didn't have that.
Really?
Until I was 24 years old.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah,
so leading up to that,
I thought that I was just going to have a regular job, live a normal, good life, you know, making X amount of money, 9 to 5, 401k, like that whole thing. I just wish, and that's why even at, like, I'm 31, that's not old. I know it's still young, but I just feel like, I don't know. I just feel like I'm so far behind because I got a late start. You know, I feel like I got a late start because literally everything that we have, everything that you see here, like, we haven't really talked about a lot of this stuff. Everything that you see here with Only the Greatest, with my life, where it is, has been, all of that started when I was 24 years old.
Yeah.
Not, you know, and something just clicked in my head where I was like, since then, my biggest fear, Daryl said his biggest fear is being old and looking back and wondering like, oh, what if?
Didn't go for it.
My biggest fear is being average.
Yeah.
The scariest thing in my life is to live an average life. Because if you know what average is in America? Overweight and broke.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's what average is. That's what I don't want to be. That's the scariest thing. And Daryl,
pretty average.
Daryl was talking about. I don't think that's true at all. Daryl was saying that, and I hope no one takes offense to that. But this is just like these are the kind of thoughts that go through my head every single day.
Yeah. It's,
you know, and
that's
so,
your take.
Yeah, I want us to be better than average, more than average, because we're like, oh, I'm just, you know, if I. Just your average Joe. Well, nobody has to be that. You're only an average Joe because you label yourself as an average Joe.
Because you decided to be that.
Because you decided to be that, and you're okay with it. Well, I'm not okay with it.
Right.
You know, so the only thing that I can think of is I would just wish I would have started earlier. I wish that someone would have talked to me like Daryl talked to that kid.
Yeah. When
I was 21 or when I was 15. And now, so I take it, even young kids, like I was just at my cousin's kid's birthday party, right?
Second cousins.
Yeah, my second cousin, yeah.
Yeah.
So even with them, I try to do things to instill into them, like, man, I wish someone would have spoken like this to me when I was a kid.
Yeah,
right.
be the adult that you wanted around when you were a kid.
Instead of, for Christmas, instead of getting them toys, I'll write them like a note of like, try to give them potential and all.
You get them like Robert Kiyosaki's like game
books,
board game or something, or like a book like
books,
Rich,
or
what's
like
Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Last year I gave them all money and wrote them a little note. I made each I used like $50 bill or something, but I signed it and I said, hey, if you bring this back to me next year. So it's trying to incentivize them to save. Like, nobody taught me that stuff.
Yeah. Exactly.
No one taught me this stuff when I was a kid. So that's the only thing for me because in my opinion, because Daryl said, I'm assuming this risk of real estate or whatever. Well, if you ask me, the biggest risk is having one job.
Right. That's risky.
That's a risk. You want to talk about risk? Mm-hmm. Have one job to support your entire family. Yeah. Have one job to send your kids to school. Have one job to pay your bills. Have one job to pay your mortgage. That's risky.
That's when you get the bitter people at these jobs. They've been there for like 10 plus years, 20 plus years, right? And it's like that's the only job they have. So it's like they're almost like they're enslaved to it. It's like this is it. And they're just mad.
Doesn't necessarily have
fucking pissed.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily have to be a job, but one stream of income.
Yeah.
That's the translation.
Pretty much.
So you have one stream of income.
A single
to
place.
Fund your entire life and your entire family.
Where one person's decision could end your entire funding of your family and your life.
Yeah, of your life, yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure. Definitely.
So
definitely.
That, I don't know. Whenever when someone asks me, like, what could you do different or something, like the question that you asked.
Yeah.
I just wish I would have started earlier. I wish someone would have taught me when I was younger. You know, that's the only thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. I guess I can almost piggyback off that with like skating. I would skate with my friends and stuff like that. I wish I would have started taking pictures and filming earlier. Yeah. Like got like a handy cam or something and started filming a lot earlier. That would have been really cool. I only have like a little bit of footage and video like pre 2013.
Yeah, because it's all a journey, right? What if I would have started working out sooner?
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Dude,
So
definitely.
OTG is what 4 years deep now. Well, if I would have started working out when I was 15 instead of 20, well, we'd be 5 years deeper into this thing. I would have been able to start OTG at 23 instead of 26.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what Shawn's saying.
Exactly.
It's like starting earlier would have been awesome. But
Wzdm would be X amount of years older and more mature.
Yeah, exactly. There's so many times when just when I was at my last job that I was like, man, speaking on the having one stream of income, it's like, at that job, it's like that was it. That's all I did. And I feel like I put so much into it to where it's like I would almost lose what I wanted out of Wzdm. And it's like, man, if I would have like been, and there's always these different scenarios you think of, and it's like I just wish that I would have been, a little, probably like a year or two further along. I would have been happier. Or I'd be happy with that, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it is. And at the end of the day, I try to remind myself, it is what it is. We're where we're at. It's this moment in time. Try to be present and great. I'm very grateful for where we're at now. You want to you want to have gratitude, but at the same time be
like pushing towards something else. It's like I want to be gracious of what I have now.
Unhappy, not non-content.
Yeah.
Blissfully dissatisfied.
Thank you. Blissfully dissatisfied.
Thank you. That's the term that I'm looking for.
I actually just like that. Like that can be like the title. Blissfully dissatisfied.
That's the name of the show. Blissfully dissatisfied. I like it. I was thinking something along the lines of "fuck your high school counselor."
Let me go with that too.
Yeah. Can we beep that out? Beep. Your high school counselor.
Yeah, man. Yeah. A lot of people will tell you some bullshit, and they've never done it.
One, they've never done it.
Right. Yeah.
Two, they are projecting their limiting beliefs onto you, and three, they're likely. It's probably one of those two things or both. But there's also a chance that there's a little bit of envy, a little bit of jealousy, a little bit of I never tried. So I don't want to see anybody else do it and succeed because that would make me feel bad about myself. So maybe there's a little bit of shielding going on there.
Yeah. I think some people really do. I mean, I really don't. I couldn't tell you right now why she would tell someone that in 2013. That there's no money or no. I mean, you can work from the newspaper. Even then, I think working for the newspaper, you could have made money taking pictures. I don't know why. It's I think some people do it to try to protect other people. I don't always think people are haters. I think sometimes it comes down to like what people know. Like you said, they never experienced it themselves.
Well, man, maybe from a high school counselor's point of view, they're just looking at the stats. The stats say that most businesses fail.
Yes.
So
they do.
That counselor probably. Let's give them some grace.
We'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
Let's give them the benefit of the doubt that she's worried if she tells Shawn, pursue that. Well, what if he fails?
Yeah,
and now she blames herself.
Now it's on her. So
let's just maybe that's what's going on. I don't know. I still disagree with how she presented it to Shawn.
There's days when I'm like, you know what, she really did that. And then there's other days when I'm putting on the war paint, like, fuck that lady. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So it's like, it just depends on what day it is, really. Yeah. But
some days you wake up Wzdm, some days you don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Some days you wake up great, some days you don't.
Some days not so good,
But you push through, man.
That's right.
Such a cool story. So Shawn, let's talk about a little bit. So you do work. You do have a full-time job, but also you work and you do your photography. Your brand. You work on your brand on the side.
Yeah. Currently I'm working. I'm working at OTG and also another job at nights part time, and then I do like my private work.
Then you do your private work.
Yeah. So that's kind of it. I'm just trying to build the brand. For a little bit, I was like, I want it to be this. kind of a little bit more like grandiose, a little bit bigger. But I just think eventually what I see in like 5 years down the road, I think I want just like a small team, like 2 to 3 people. I think that would be nice. And then just kind of a team of people that can do a lot of things well. Yeah. And then we just tackle events and slowly grow from there.
Full time. Full time.
That would be really nice. Yeah. That would be really nice in some aspect.
So the reason I brought that up was because I wanted the listeners to know that you are for hire. Like you're not strictly OTG.
Right, definitely. We at Wzdm Media we are open for business. So
so hit them up. So I would say that photography is definitely the strong point right now.
Yes.
That's kind of, I guess, the core. And now you are doing more videography.
Video has been definitely part of more of the packages and just building up there and getting better at that. And getting all the gear together for that, and definitely capable of taking on video projects.
Right, yeah. So sure. Definitely photography, videography. I think that's cool that you have like a plan in 5 years, you want to be full-time Wzdm, and have a team around you. And even if it's not 1,000 employees, or this huge, crazy marketing company.
I don't think you need it. Yeah. I don't think you need it,
Well, that's what you're comfortable with, what you want, know, and like I've done this a couple times during the show. We live in America, dude. Whatever makes you happy. What's successful for me is different. Phil and I are best friends. He's my best friend in the whole world. Our version of success is very different. Yeah. And that's okay. You're a good friend of mine. Our version of success, what a successful and happy life look like, are different for us.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Yeah. It's not one size fits all. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah. I love it, man. Everybody's got their own.
I think a small realty team, like you have like 2 or 3 people that are just out, running these deals, selling these houses, showing these houses, like that seems like it'd be nice, man. Instead of having so much fat, you don't need all the fat, and for what we're trying to do here. Right. I feel like even in OTG, just getting a couple more trainers.
Yeah,
that's all you really need.
A couple more trainers, maybe a couple more facilities, whatever it looks like, right? Yeah. So yeah, man, that's cool, dude. I think this is a good. I wish we would have had Shawn and I talked for 40 minutes probably. Yeah. Before
talking about good old Texas City and just the.
Well, that's kind of how it started, and then it went into a million different things. That's the kind of stuff that I want to get onto this show. Yeah. Those are the talks those are the reason why this show exists. Because Phil and I would train probably about once a week, and we would have these talks, and it was like, dude, we got to start like recording some of this stuff and getting the content out there. And if it helps pass the time for one person, or it helps one person, or maybe somebody listens and they've been looking for a photographer and they're like, that's my guy. They feel like they not that they know you, but they have a connection with you now, and that helps you and helps them, right?
Yeah.
They're going to hire you. They're going to get the product that they want to buy.
Man, I would like to eventually go into some type of teaching aspect of it. Like that'd be nice.
Okay. Training people how to
how to just grow a business in photography and just get better behind the camera and stuff like that.
Well, I would say there's almost definitely a market for that, because there's people that think it's as easy as buying a camera. And it's not. You got to have a skill set with it too. So
buy a shitty camera. That's what I always tell people. I'm like, buy a shitty camera
and make it work.
Buy a shitty camera you can bring anywhere and just take pictures of everything. And I think you'll just get better.
Dude, Shawn's been one step ahead of me. I've been like, okay, this is my next question. My next question was going to be, anybody who wants to get started in photography or videography right now, what's your advice?
Okay.
Buy a shitty camera.
Buy a shitty camera. YouTube. Get YouTube. Just get YouTube Premium. Ads suck, and you can just listen to stuff with your screen off. So get YouTube Premium and just look up whatever whatever you're interested in. Really, there's a lot out there, and that can kind of be jarring. It's just man, I don't really know. But yeah, it takes a lot. It takes a lot of research to really get good. It's you can be good. You can take a picture and it looks good, but you gotta have pictures that really make people feel something. Right. It's man, that looks really good.
Art.
Yeah.
That's not a photograph. That's artwork.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, and also too, not every shot has to be artwork. That's something I've learned like super recently. Like not every video or every picture. Some shots and some work is just work.
Interesting.
And you don't want to get so emotionally tied to it because you get so emotionally tied. Someone asks you to change something on, and you're no.
And the time the time that goes into it.
Yeah, no. I spent hours on my magnum opus of that commercial for your food truck. You know, it's like no, like everything isn't art. And if you want to make it into a business, sometimes you have to do some business stuff. Like if someone's like, hey, I like everything here, but I'm not a big fan of this scene. Okay, I'll take it out. Hey, would you want to work with any part of that? No? Okay, cool. That's fine. And then you just move on, and then you get paid, and you go on to the next thing to fuel that art. You know? So it's like,
the brand.
Yeah.
That's super interesting. I've never even thought about photography like that because it's so beyond me that I'm like, oh, wow, it's all art. But
I would be like, I think that there is time. I think you all, you know, you can give the best advice if you go through it. I think there's definitely times where I did like a job. I did a shoot for a client, and I felt like it was a great shoot. I thought everything went well. Nothing really like thinking back on it, nothing really like brought me back to the shoot. Like I was like, oh man, that picture just really like, that was the one. It really like nothing was really there. It was pretty mid, I would have to say. Yeah. But it's like he told me he just didn't really like it. And hearing it from the client, it was like a dagger. I was like, oh, what?
I feel like you need some of those though.
But you do. It's like, and so we were on like a plan. And so the next month we were shooting again. And I was like, okay, well, it was a dagger, but it was a little one because I was like, okay, let me use this time to figure out if I want this to be my everyday thing and I want to make money behind this camera, I need to know what the client wants. So I was like, hey, well, what didn't you like? No, I didn't like this, this, and this. He's like, I just felt like there were certain things that I liked about the last one. Okay, cool. So the next time we went in, now I'm putting my war paint on, and I was just there.
Counselor,
and
I'll show this.
Everyone's the counselor.
Yeah. It's like the water boy.
Everyone's the
tackling fuel.
Everyone's the counselor, bro. So it's
visualize an attack, Shawn.
Visualize an attack. Yeah, exactly, dude. So yeah, I'm like going in there, and I'm like ready now, and I'm like, dude, I'm gonna tackle this, and we did this next shoot and he loved it. He loved like every picture from it. And I was like, oh man, that was great. And it felt better that way because it's like...
It feels better than if the bad thing never even would have happened.
Right. Exactly. Everything would have been mid. Yeah. Like, and the good thing is this guy had told you that he didn't like it. So when he told you that he did, you knew he wasn't lying because he has that capability to say, hey man, I didn't really like that.
Exactly. Yeah. So communication is a big key.
One of the biggest pieces of business advice I've ever been given is that complaints are only opportunities.
Yeah.
When you get a complaint, that is an opportunity to show your best self and an opportunity to overcome.
Yeah.
So anytime you get a complaint or something goes wrong or smash you something different, you should be like, thank God this person complained. Because now I can prove the business owner that I am. Now I can prove. I can improve, but I can just prove to this person and to the world that I can overcome. This is an opportunity for me. So like at the gym, when a customer complains, now I can show them what I'm really made of.
Right. Yeah, something that I learned working at the pawn shop for so long is like the biggest part isn't knowing about every piece of tech that comes in or every tool that comes in. The biggest part that really sets you apart from the next pawnbroker next to you or the next pawn shop next to you down the street, because there's pawn shops everywhere. Yeah, it's problem solving. If you cannot problem solve, then you're not worth. You're just a guy. You're mid. Yeah. You're just the guy who's kind of mid. If you can't really overcome the problem of what was in that last shoot and you deliver the same product over again, then it's like, well, I just can't do it. And then forever. And it's like, when working at that job, it's like you have to solve a lot of problems like on the drop of a dime, you know? And it's like when you get good at that is when you become like, when I feel like you ascend and you become just better.
I feel like photography is like the epitome of that because let's say you're a natural light photographer or whatever. Yeah. Dude, you show up to a shoot and the clouds are like in a position you weren't ready for, or the shade, or
you can try to prepare for everything, but it's like
there's a bridezilla.
Something's gonna catch you off guard, and
that's probably, in my opinion, like that's what kind of stopped me from pursuing. I got into one situation. I had one paid gig as a photographer.
Really? I want to hear about it. I love hearing about bad gigs.
Let's hear it.
It was so bad. It was
This is
so
the OTG podcast. We want to hear it.
It was so bad. I showed up to this place, and it was from a recommendation.
Okay.
And I had just gotten into photography. This has probably been.
So you had a camera. You were a professional photographer.
Well, pretty much, yeah. You know, I was accepting jobs.
All you do is click the button.
Yeah. So I show up to this place, and it's a big family. There's like 15 people there. Mm-hmm. All right, and they want all the house. They wanted photos inside and outside. It was like a grandpa's birthday or something like that, right? Okay. They wanted photos inside. They wanted photos outside. Inside the house, nightmare. No windows.
Oh no!
Blinds are all drawn.
Yeah. There wasn't even any blinds to pull to get light in.
Damn.
So it was dark in there.
In like a dungeon, like
yeah. So it was dark, and they all wanted photos in a certain place. And each, I don't really have. I don't know what they call it. Within a big family, you have little families, right? What do you call that? Like, so like if y'all were to go somewhere, you got Jen and Gabe, right? Then you got you and Jess, then you got Bobby and
quadrants, I guess. Little groups. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? So
each
one, they each wanted their own set. Right, and some of them had 3 people, some of them had 4. One of them had like 7. And bro, I got most of them. I nailed the first few with the lack of lighting and everything. But then this one, the bigger group, I could not get them positioned correctly. One person was always like in a shadow.
Oh shit!
And bro, I was embarrassed. I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
I couldn't get the framing right because the room was small and there was like 7 of them.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
That's tough.
It was really bad. So that happened. And then they wanted outside. And then they wanted a photo where they were all in a line with each other. Like all behind each other. And then like one was this way, one was that way. One was this way, one was that way. So like say you're standing in a single file line. Half the people go this way. Half the people go that way, right?
Oh,
and so
man,
that's a very
sounds rough. That sounds rough to set up already.
Yeah, if you don't, the issue with that is the depth.
Yeah, definitely.
The depth gets very. You can't focus on the front person, or I don't know how. You may know how. You may be able to.
It's hard. I mean, it's a tough shot. Yeah. It's a hard ask.
But
definitely.
I was so embarrassed. I left. I edited the photos, and I think there was like a handful of decent ones.
Yeah, you just kind of send them off and just say, "Hey, fuck it."
Yeah, and I moved on.
You just move on. Definitely. Yeah,
I was like, I'm never doing photography again.
Maybe that counselor was right.
Dude, I have a rough one where and maybe that counselor was right. I had a rough one where I got recommended to do a late night dinner shoot at some restaurant in Houston. I can't really remember where. And so I never met the guy. I got recommended through another shoot that I did. So that's pretty nice. You know, if you're in the circuit, you can
you're a referral circle.
Yeah. When you get the word of mouth, that really helps a lot. And so once you're getting referred around, especially like in the fitness scene, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Right. But I got recommended because I did this lady. I'm just gonna call her Stacy for the video.
How about Karen? Can we call her Karen?
I did. No, she was fine.
Okay,
I mean, I don't know.
She was a Stacy.
Yeah, she's just Stacy. Yeah. So I shot Stacy's father's 80th birthday or something, and it was fun. It was super fun because all he asked me to do is just follow him around and take pictures like vlog style. Okay. So I was like, oh, this is nice. So I just had like a flash. I'm just popping a flash off. I had a setup and everyone was walking up and I'd go and take pictures there and then pop it off and go follow him. It was great. So she recommended me to her boss to shoot his mom's dinner birthday. I was like, okay. They said it's going to be a short event, probably like an hour. I was like, all right, they're going to show up there, take a couple of pictures, and wham, bam. I was going to make, I think it was like a couple $100 or something. And I was like, dude, this is going to be a cakewalk.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
So I get there, and let's say that the shoot was for 8:30. I get there at 8, and I never met these people before. But I told them, I was like, hey, I'm here. I'm sitting at the bar, and the bar is like kind of right in front of where the door is. Mm-hmm. And I was just drinking water, just waiting for him to come. And dude, I'm sitting there, and like it's coming up on the time, and I'm like, hey man, like what's going on? Like where you at? It's like 8:30
25.
8:25, 8:30 something. I'm like, hey, where you at? He's like, oh yeah, we actually got here early already, and we sat down and we were here, but he never told me he was there. Right. So it's like I'm just there at the bar, just like waiting, and they never told me anything, and so I didn't
know what they look like or nothing.
Nothing. So they come in, and then finally this like random guy, or random to me at the time, walks up to me. He's like, hey, Shawn. And he's like, yeah. He's like, oh yeah, we're already done eating and everything. We're just like, here you go. And he gave me like $20 and I just headed out. And he's like, yeah, we're already done.
Oh, that was, you didn't even shoot him.
No, I never shot him. And so yeah, that was a bad one on my end.
Well, that hurt. So that hurts you emotionally.
Yeah, it was definitely. Yeah, I was like, dude, I really wanted to go and and knock it out of the park.
Well, when you're getting started, you want those chances, you want those opportunities.
Exactly. Yeah,
and they didn't even give you a chance.
Yeah, the word of mouth thing, it hits because it's like, holy shit, like I want to fix this, but it's like I can't, and it's like. I don't know if it was like, should I have been on him more? But he's trying to do this whole thing with his mom. It's like, I didn't know what to do there. So I like left and I was just like crushed. I was like, oh my God. I remember I got the $20. I didn't even take it. I gave it to the guy who valeted my fucking car. I was like, you know what? Here you go. Take the 20.
That's a different kind of hurt than my story. Yeah. But they both hurt for sure. I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah, I was like, dude, no way. I was there the whole time. I was on time and everything. And I was like, I don't know what I could have done differently. And then I was just communicate. Communicate is the big thing.
I think in that situation, there's nothing you could have done because you had no idea what you look like. You couldn't just walk up to everybody in the restaurant. Hey, are you John?
Yeah, hey, I have a camera. Hey, I have a camera.
John? You want to take pictures of you? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, interesting story. Well, Shawn, it's been a pleasure, dude.
Yeah.
I'm glad to have you on board. Phil's glad to have you on board. There's going to be a lot more content coming.
Definitely.
We got to get these shows recorded. I got a big job coming up where I'll be kind of busy for like the next month, but we're gonna get some more content pushed out. We're gonna do some training videos. We're gonna do some more podcasts, whatever it is.
We got a lot coming for sure.
Yeah, we got a lot coming. So y'all give Shawn a follow. Shawn spelled the right way.
Yeah, SHAWN.WZDM.
Wisdom.
That's pretty much it. Like on my Instagram, I have all of my links, and that really has all of the stuff like YouTube and whatnot. But a lot of Instagram work, and that's where you can get a hold of me. And my portfolio is also on there too.
Rock and roll, man. And so all the OTG content from this point, or actually like a month ago forward, from this point forward, definitely is Shawn's work. So that's part of his portfolio. But go to his go to his Instagram, go to his site, check him out. He is for hire, and Shawn, you got anything else for the listeners?
That's really it, man. Buy a shitty camera, use YouTube, and take a lot of pictures.
There you go.
Buy
Phil?
a shitty camera.
Yeah.
What you got, Phil?
I like where this episode went.
Yeah.
I thought it was good. I like the counselor story.
Yeah.
The war paint. I start putting my war paint on more often, you know.
Tackling fuel.
When I'm not feeling great in the morning,
tackling fuel.
Putting that war paint on.
Yeah, man.
You know,
tackle your counselor.
Whoever
your
that's all I'm hearing.
Whoever your counselor is.
Yeah.
Tackling fuel.
Yeah, man.
Visualize an attack. Well, I guess I'll close this out. I heard a lot of good nuggets in here. Y'all, I couldn't name all of them if I wanted to, but also don't have a family of 7. It's really hard to shoot. It's really hard to shoot pictures of them in a dark house. So
yeah, families.
I'm just kidding, y'all. All right, well, man, it's been a great show, Shawn. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for everything you do. Until the next time, y'all. Peace out.
Oh,
I got the right one.
Yeah. We're closing it out.
Is this even? We don't have to like pay for this or anything, right?
I hope not.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
I don't know.
Actually, me and Daryl Unchained Band recorded this in the garage last week. Isn't that what you said?
Bro, I would be so hyped if I was like the little band that's just playing in Toronto or Nevada or whatever, and you get the call from Road, and they're like, we need someone
We need your content.
We need about a minute and a half of you just jamming the fuck out.
They just go crazy. They're in a garage, definitely. This is definitely recording in a garage.
Oh, yeah.
All right, y'all. Till next time.
Yeah.